So hello everybody, welcome to my channel. My name is Morpheus Dawson and I'm a witch based in India. And in this video we will be discussing names, magical words and how they affect the world and magic around us. So in this video we will be discussing a few things and I have written them down previously to make sure that I do not forget anything, and this is just gonna be an information video regarding magical names, chants and how words and specific names can affect magic and how to utilize them in a specific way. So at first, let me give a little bit of information about myself. I am Morpheus Dawson. I'm a witch based in India. My practices involve the Qliphoth, demonic magic, Norse sorcery, and a little bit of darker Greek magic, much more related to necromantic arts or the illusion mysteries. And in Greek, I am mostly dedicated to Hecate. In Indian mythology and magic, I work with primordial elemental spirits like Agni, Vayu, and Kali as an incarnation of the divine feminine and the chaotic aspect of the source. I'm also very much knowledgeable in runes and tarot, and I therefore know a few things. So I'm just telling this out because I want to make sure that you know what I'm knowledgeable about before you take any information I have to give, and that's why I'm just explaining everything. And let me just say first that as a magician I am not very well versed in some things that I'm about to say, but all of the knowledge has been a mix of my own gnosis and information I have gathered through the internet. So apologies if I say something wrong. So let's start this out. And before we do anything, I just want to explain that I have a Patreon. If you want to support me, you can support me there. I have few tiers in which I give knowledge and specific incarnations and rituals for my clients and those who want to subscribe to me, my patrons. And one of my favorite ones, the $28 one, is the one in which I do a ritual every month to empower and psychically gift you with different gifts. It is the Psychic Mass of Gamaliel ritual, which I do every month. So, and it also includes a few discounts and various privileges that you get from being a patron. So if you want to subscribe and support me and be my patron, then thank you, and my Patreon link is down below. And a really good shout out and thanks to Brad Grandstaff and his Empress, His Majesty, for supporting me. So at first, let's talk about few things. And at first I want to talk about is how the words of power can connect and transform our universe. So in various sects of magical traditions and in various temples, there is an idea that words can connect and change our life. It is very prevalent in chaos magic and modern chaos magic, which is very much surface level quantum mechanics mixed into a traditional magical format. So in that aspect, it is said that like Schrodinger's cat, magic can affect the universe by words spoken or observations being made. So specifically, let's say you are doing any sort of magical ritual and you are cursing an individual to have a really bad situation on Facebook where they do not get any likes on their pictures. After they have uploaded a picture, you just go out and see, and then you see that you do not have any likes. So in a way, you have manifested that yourself, or in other sense that you go and see that they have likes, you feel bad. So you have created observation, and magic thus has done this. This is really surface level, and there are many things which can be different depending on various obstacles and situations, and there are many variables which can affect how magic in that paradigm can work. So I will not explain much on that because even I am not that well known or well knowledgeable about that sort of magic. Uh, my magic is much more traditional in certain aspects, much more Western. And the thing is that in various Shinto traditions and animistic traditions, which led to shamanic words, words have power. In Shinto, like I said, you have specific charms, which are basically papers in which we have certain things written. And those things are really similar to sigil or rune staves, for example, in which you write a specific word, you empower them by calling on certain entities, and that is usually created to ward off or to bring good luck or something like that, which is much more common in Japan. Uh, in Europe, we have sigils, which are much more modern in a few ways. In medieval demonology, we have certain sigils which are created to give specific results, and they are just custom sigils. Uh, they have specific names written on them, a few designs and stuff to get specific result. Uh, just forgive me, but from some sort of grimoire, I guess, I've seen that there was this sigil in which you call on Jesus and Mary to make sure that this woman dances and shows herself to you in a provocative manner. I don't know why they made that, but still, that can also work. So basically, in various traditions, words can affect the world around us. Even in Norse magic, we have Galdur. Galdur is basically runes which you utter in specific, you know, vibrations you use in certain ways to get results. And cedar is also like that. Cedar in which you weave, but in weaving, you also utter few words which are in a trance. Like you don't utter them, but most of the time you say specific words which empower the ritual which are doing by weaving. So that is cedar. And if you look at into every single old religion and magical systems, you will see that there is a really good emphasis on magic which is created by word. Even in modern TV shows and anime and series, in Black Clover, for example, in that anime we have this demon named Zagreed, who has word magic in which the word he speaks can create results. In this other anime named Jujutsu Kaisen, we have a character who, if he says something, that can manifest. So, in that subtle ways, it can explain that it also works in our world. Just try doing an experiment, saying a few words, and you will see that you find results for some reason in the ritual that you're doing by just saying a few words, and that will explain how word can affect our world. So the next thing I want to talk about now is Percy Jackson Greek myths and how they are connected to word magic. So you have to know that if you have read Percy Jackson or any other series which have connected to Greek gods, in Percy Jackson you will see that when they utter the words or the names of wait a minute. Yeah. So if you see that in those series, if they utter the name of Zeus and Kronos, there is some sort of event happening around them, like lightning and some sort of roar they can hear. This is also how magical system or names and words were believed in ancient Greek. In ancient Greek, it was believed that magic could be used by just words, and deities and spirits could hear themselves being called upon by if we just say the word. And that's why many people did not even use words for specific entities and deities. For example, even Hades was not called Hades in most of the time, unless it was in rituals where the god of the dead was to be called upon for help, and he was just just made sure that he does not listen to them. They were just worried that if he listens to them and he believes that they are calling him, then he will just manifest and kill them. There's also the fact that in ancient Greek, various goddesses and gods has different names. For example, the goddess Persephone, who was married to Hades. When she was in the underworld, she lives one half of the day, one half of the year on Olympus and the other half in the underworld. When she lives in the underworld, there is winter and coldness where things do not live. When she goes, there is autumn because trees are dying, and when she goes to the underworld, there is winter because nothing grows. And when she comes back in spring, things started growing again. Trees and plants start growing, and she is then called Kode or maiden. So in that instance, we can see that many gods and goddesses have different names, and the way they utter the names have some sort of meaning. This specific meaning can also and have also continued throughout the years, and it has currently been used but for specific and various cults. Just wait a second, let me have some water. I don't know why I get thirsty when I am talking about magic. So anyways, like I was saying, in various modern magical cults and religions, specific names of the gods are not actually the names specifically. Like, these are not names, but they are words which mean a station or a job posting, for example. I don't know why I'm saying stuff like this. I'm pretty sure at some point some demon or god is going to kill me because I'm doing this, but still. For example, the name Allah means Lord or King. God himself, the word El means God, and you will find the word El in the word Israel as well, the land of the god. Basically, even Baal, the demon Baal. Baal is also literally means Lord. In certain magical rituals, like the meditation of the high self, we utter the words Baalam in a specific frequency to empower our God self and to empower our crown chakra. So in that specific aspect, some gods are really much more like job postings, in which it is also possible that multiple entities can take that posting. And you know why I'm talking about this? Because I have seen a lot of people talking how Lucifer and Satan are not just names, they are job postings. Like, yes, Satan is a job posting, Lucifer is also a job posting. What the fuck do you mean by that? Even Mammon is a job posting. Like, Mammon literally means money. Do you think that all the demons which are being summoned by calling on this specific name are different ones? I'm pretty sure at some point, some demon would be like, this name is getting some traction. Let me go into the mortal world and then answer. I will get some good results from that. And they did that. Lucifer and Satan, for example, have been previous entities throughout the world. Lucifer, for example, has been connected to Ammon, or the Greek god Amun-Ra. And Satan has been, in my own workings, have told me that he was supposed to be Apophis before he became the lord of the Qliphoth now. And Moloch also supposedly was the Minotaur in previous ages. And that's why many deities and demons have been other gods and they have changed the names. But that does not mean that calling on them now would cause different results. People change, time changes, and demons also change throughout years. Some demons have decided that they don't want to act a certain way and they have changed themselves. And it has also worked. for various other demons and various other gods as well. I'm pretty sure that some deities are really preferring demonic worshippers who call on them for certain things, and that is why using names cannot have issues. For example, let's say that you try to summon Satan and you believe that Lucifer will arrive. Lucifer will indeed arrive instead of Satan, but you have to take in mind that words and intentions can also work. And that is how also you can call on your higher self and call it Satan, and your higher self will appear if you call on Satan instead of the god Satan. Intentions matter, words also matter, but not as much as you believe. Intentions matter first, then the words. Words can be like a little bit of a punch into the entire ritual. Just believe that if you use certain words, it will get a little bit of a boost, but it will not work as the entire fucking thing. So please, make sure that whenever you do certain things, and you're not being an idiot, do things and research them before you start doing anything. Anyways, the next thing I want to talk about is true name and the holy guardian angel, or the higher self, as Wiccans are now calling it. Anyways, the higher self or the holy guardian angel is basically the self of your soul, which is connected to the higher emanation of the cosmic god, the source, for example. The human soul has three aspects which are much more connected. We have the mortal soul, which is a balance of chaos and the order. And then we have the holy guardian angel, or the higher self, which is much more vibrationally connected to light and order and those energies which are from the upper part of the source. And then we look, they can be said to be the super ego, or the above. And then we have the bottom part, the chaos. We have the shadow self, which is connected to the chaos, or the ID of the soul. Basically, super ego and ID can connect to make the ego, which we are. Then you have to understand is that when they do certain things like that, it makes sure that we stay in a balance, and thus we can connect and work with all the energies we can work with. We can work with any energy, like at some instances I can call on Apophis or the serpent of the chaos, and then the other moment I can call on the holy god Yahweh for the light spirit. That's why it is really possible that you can call on certain demons or certain spirits easily without any issue. And that is why energies matter in certain ways. And you might be asking, how is name and words important in that aspect? And I will answer that in a moment. Okay, now we can start it again. Now, I just want to say that the true name is basically the name your soul, the amalgamation of your soul is called by. It is the name you were given when you were born. This is not the name of your higher self or the holy guardian angel. It is the name which is, the higher self is basically a different thing, and the true name is not given by you, not given by any demon or entity. It is given by the source itself when you are born, and it is basically the name of your soul. It can be utilized as, if you use the name, you will get much more connected to your own energies, your shadow and your higher self. And if you call on it, it will help empower your energies, and it can also, if you use your higher self, if you use a true name in specific rituals, it can also empower it in certain ways. And your true name can be similar to a demon, similar to a god, a mix of different spirits, or it can also be something new. There is no issue with that, and it might not even have a meaning. It is something you're born with, so knowing it would help you immensely. And how do you know it? There are different ways. You can try to get it by accessing the Akashic records. You can call on some spirit who knows that, like Shemiaza, or you can call on your higher self and then also know that. in my own situation, I was calling on Shemiaza, and somehow, by some miracle, he told me my true name. So that is also something you can do. Although I would suggest to try it on your own and not be like me. And your higher self or the holy guardian angel and its name matters in certain ways. Your higher self is basically your God self or the true divinity of yourself. So basically, imagine your soul having a true name, okay? And your higher self has a different name. The higher self's name is basically the true divinity of you. It is the higher and the more powerful energies that you're born with. Instead of it being the amalgamation of you, it is basically your best abilities and your most divine aspect, you can say. And that has a different name. And calling on it can also help with divination, psychic protection, and in evocations, if you call it as the true God, born before all, and the one that created the universe. Because in certain aspects, since you are born and your consciousness starts there, your higher self actually created the universe for you. Just something to think about. And that is how the higher self and its name can help. So the next thing we're going to be talking about is choosing a magical name. So what is the difference between a magical name and true name or the name of a higher self? A magical name is basically a name which is you created for magic as a magician. Usually many people make their magical name as a way to differentiate the mundane and the magical life. Or some people can make it like a stage name and make sure that their family does not know about that. For me, it was a mix of both. And using a magical name can also psychologically affect you and bring you into the mood or the trance specifically for that particular ritual. And it helps if you know yourself and know your soul enough that when you do this and call on and choose your magical name and say, for example, let's say I am Morpheus and I say, I am Morpheus Jackson, call the spirit, manifest in front of me, take a form and speak to me in a discernible voice. It also helps that your mind believes that it is the time for magic, and so it unlocks the aspect which is needed. Like imagine your mind is really complex, man, and by certain things you can trigger a few moments, and it's really a tip that you can utilize if you are doing any sort of ritual. Anyway, now the final part of this entire fucking video is gonna be how to utilize names in magic. So personally, I'm more of a baneful magician and my work involves a lot of curses. So I use names in a specific way. Since names are chosen by a magician or a person, like even mundane names, they associate a little bit of themselves to the name. And if you know a little bit about them, then it can be utilized for magical purposes as well. For example, if I want to curse an individual, my enemy, but I don't know them, I know their social media handle. Let's say that there is a magician named Boom Bada Beam, and I want to curse this Boom Bada Beam, but I know his Twitter name and his magical name. What I do is that I visualize a person and then write Boom Bada Beam on a paper, and then I curse a person as if his real name was Boom Bada Beam. Anyways, what it does is that even a little bit of a stage name or a Instagram name can be associated with you because it has been chosen by you. So you have put a little bit of yourself into the magic or the name. So what happens is that the magic mixes with the name and then it gets associated to you. So it is easy for someone to track it. And it can also be used for healing and empowerments. For example, let's say that one of my friend, let's use my patron, for example, His Majesty. Let's say I don't know him, his real name, and I know him as His Majesty. I use my divination to gaze into his name, and then visualize and connect to and try to connect to his soul, which is connected to the name. And when I do that, I use an empowerment ritual. I use my empowerment ritual and call on the specific entity to heal and empower that person, to heal his majesty and to empower him, to give him more magical purposes than a normal person. That is what I do. And it can also be utilized in a few ways. Like, for example, let's say you are performing your own magic and you're using your name. Try to call on your name and calling it, declaring it, like just saying that you are declaring your magical name as the name of the god who is presiding over this ritual. Saying, I, Morpheus Dawson, preside over this ritual. May no spirit try to trick me or harm me. But that you can also empower your own divinity and help doing any sort of ritual without influences of any other spirit or god. This is how it can also be done. There are many ways you can also use magic and words in specific forms of rituals and spells, but that is what I have for you now. Since I do not have much more knowledge in this thing, I don't want to go on tangent and just say a few things which I don't know about much. So in this video, I just wanted to give you guys the information which I have and which I want to give you to empower you in your day-to-day working. So I hope you guys like this video. I hope you guys enjoyed this and understood what I wanted to say in this video. And if you like this video, I would appreciate it if you like this and subscribe to my channel and go to my Patreon and become even a $1 patron. Anything helps at this point. And if you want any sort of magical working done, then I am also hireable on my website and also on Instagram. So if you want to talk with me or just communicate with me, you can also get to my Instagram or my Facebook. So I will see you guys in my next video. Goodbye, have a great day, and take care, guys. Have fun and live like you're young, even if you're old. See ya.